Kansas City Chiefs are off to the races in day number 3 of the 2025 NFL Draft with their 4th and 5th round selections. And I think the team next door is going to really like this pick there at the complex. Jalen Royals, very fitting in Kansas City, right? Wide receiver from Utah State. He is the Chiefs selection at 133. Meanwhile, at 156, the Chiefs go linebacker. They go with Jeffrey Bassa from the University of Oregon. Let's tell you about each of these individuals. Some very good picks by Brett Veach. Let's start with Jalen Royals. We knew that the Chiefs had a big need at the wide receiver position entering this draft. And you look at a player like Royals, there is a lot of potential here. We had about a 2nd or 3rd round grade on him and some good value to get him in the 4th round. He's built kind of like Deebo Samuel, has some of the yards after catch ability that Deebo does, but not the running necessarily. Maybe like a Golden Tate or an Anthony Miller potentially. The production I would like to see more of. 2023, he had over 1,000 yards receiving, 15 touchdowns. But then last year, didn't play the whole year, 7 games played. Numbers were down to 55 catches for 834 yards, 6 touchdowns, 15.2 yards a reception. His scouting report, good speed and quickness with the potential to make teams pay after the catch. Really good in contested catch situations too, although it came against lesser competition in the Mountain West Conference. Still has learning to do as a route runner. He also has kick return experience. On top of that, too, he's dangerous after the catch, seems to have good quicks in speed. He had 10 catches of 50-plus yards over the last 2 seasons. That's number 1 in all of college football. You heard Patrick Mahomes say just earlier this week he wants to be able to stretch the field vertically more, that they want to go back to having a high-powered, deep passing game, and this certainly could help with adding Royals to the equation as well. And he tested very good. Runs a 4.42 40. I think it's a great pick for Brett Veach in a receiver position that has some question marks, right? We don't know what's going to happen with Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy if they're going to be suspended, and also how Rashee Rice is going to look coming back from the injury he suffered last year. Juju and Hollywood Brown have had their problems staying healthy as well over the years. Jalen Royals, I think, is a guy that could come in and immediately be an impact player for this Chiefs offense and be exactly what Patrick Mahomes is looking for. How would you grade the pick of Jalen Royals? I think this is a fantastic pick. This is an A in my book. What do you guys think? It's our pinned comment today. Let us know what you think. A, B, C, D, or F. Chime in the comments section. Give us your grade and let us know. Folks, this is why you subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. We're closing in on 71,000 subscribers on the channel, and we are breaking down every single pick. And we did a couple live shows yesterday. We got more content coming later tonight with more draft picks as well as our draft grades. We got UDFAs tomorrow. Lock us in now. Stay up to date with everything happening in your Kansas City Chiefs throughout this draft process and the rest of the offseason. We are your Chiefs offseason headquarters. The most comprehensive Chiefs channel on YouTube is Seattle Seahawks Today. Let's get at least 50 subs off today's video. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. So Jalen Royals comes in with this pick at 133. And here's a couple things that I would point to as far as the negatives when it comes to Jalen Royals. We haven't seen him necessarily against the best competition. He didn't exactly light things up when he played against Power 4 schools like USC, Utah, or Iowa. And there's not real much special teams coverage value, no real snaps there. Had the foot injury in October that cut his season short. He's still learning as a route runner. Wasn't asked to do a bunch of different routes at Utah State. Might have some issues versus the press, but I think there's a whole lot more good than bad. His testing numbers, we mentioned the 4.42 40, outstanding. His shuttle time, 4.25, 10-inch broad jump, 13 reps on the bench. All adds up really good for Jalen Royals. The Athletic's Dane Brugler had this to say: Royals combine smooth footwork with athletic body control, physical play strength, and tracking skills to be a three-level threat as he expands his route tree. He has the talent to emerge as a team's wide receiver 2 within his first few seasons. That is music to my ears, my friends. I would love that, and that's some good value, potentially getting a future wide receiver 2 there in the 4th round. And now this receiving room that had some question marks entering 2024, pack your bags, Sky Moore. You're out of here. Juju, I'm not so concerned now when Juju's going to show up. If I add a healthy Royals to the equation, if he's healthy, to me, this is really good. And you don't have to add anyone else now. You don't have to worry about, do you spend on free agency? Do you make a trade? You're in a really good spot with this receiver position. I think adding Royals to the mix, this should be the best Chiefs receiving corps we've seen in quite some time. Before we go any further in today's show and tell you about the second pick from the Kansas City Chiefs, let's tell you about today's sponsor. It's a new shaving company called House of Atlas. They gifted us one of their razors, and honestly, I'm kind of blown away. Not only does it look insanely sleek sitting in my bathroom, but it gives me an incredibly close shave. It feels weird to gush over a lineup of shaving products, but truly, House of Atlas makes some of the best one-of-a-kind stuff. Not to mention, their products are also designed to look like they should have their own tech reveal. Now, whether you're using their razor, the shaving cream, the aftershave, all of it, man, you're going to be feeling really good with their products. I've been liking their shave cream, thick formula that shows me where I'm shaving and leaves my skin baby bottom soft. Their aftershave is awesome, too. It doesn't burn like old school aftershave, but it does have a nice cooling sensation and smells really good. And for a limited time, they're offering 15% off your first order when you purchase any razor kit and the before and after set, which includes the Precision Shave Cream and Calming Aftershave. Use code CHAT at houseofatlas.com. That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com with promo code CHAT for 15% off your new razor kit and before and after set. Stop wasting money and time on shaving products that don't look good, aren't effective, and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlas.com today. Trust me, you'll love it as much as I did. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. House of Atlas, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Up next at 156, we find Oregon linebacker Jeffrey Bassa is the selection, and I like this guy too. The Chiefs linebacker room doesn't have a ton of depth. Now you get that with a player in Bassa who we had about a 3rd to 4th round grade on. Chiefs get him in the 5th round. A good find for Brett Veach there in Kansas City. He was originally a safety, converted to the linebacker position, checks in at 6'1", 228, 22 years old from Salt Lake City. And he is a very experienced player, played a lot of football. Large jump happened after 2022. And then this year we saw in 14 games played, accounted for 54 tackles, 3 TFLs, 1.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Kind of struggled early as a tackler, but he got better as he went along. A lot of good leadership skills. He can handle the cover 2 roles. He's a good athlete. He's fluid. The coverage ability is there, which is an ongoing topic when you talk about these inside linebackers, especially, is can they get the job done in coverage? So many of these guys cannot. And as much as I love Nick Bolton, that's been a weakness of his. He has not been that great in coverage. Jeffrey Bassa should be able to help out in that situation. He helped with adjustments at the linebacker spot at Oregon as well. A green dot. He had a strong Senior Bowl campaign as well. So that's very good for him. Let's go over the testing numbers on Jeffrey Bassa. Here's what we're talking about. Ran a 4.6240, 3-cone 7.34, bench was 21, vertical was 38.5 inches. All those numbers are fine with me. The Athletic's Dane Brugler had this to say. Bassa, who wore the green dot for the Ducks in 2024, needs to turn the almost plays into more steady production. But he does everything well on the football field and can become an NFL starter with improved consistency. His football arrow is pointing up. And you look at this group, right? Nick Bolton, Drew Tranquill, Leo Chenal. Those guys are solid. But then beyond that, there is a significant drop-off. And now, if you have an injury, and we've seen guys like Bolton and others get banged up in the past, you're not sweating. You're not sweating bullets if something happens. Jeffrey Bassa, I think, is more than capable of potentially stepping up if he needs to have his name called upon, and you have some real depth at this position and some flexibility here. I think this is really good for Kansas City here. Now, I'll say this. He's not the biggest player. Actually kind of light. The instincts aren't fully there. He does lose things a tick later in flow. Might be a little twitchy. Not a ton of plays, but it might just be instincts when it comes to that. But overall, I think it's a good prospect. I think it's a really good find for the 5th round for the Kansas City Chiefs. And now you look at this team of what they've addressed. You took care of offensive line early. You got some big hog mollies on both sides of the line of scrimmage in the 1st and 2nd round. You got the receiver help you're looking for. Now if they can just find a running back, and there's still plenty of them, then I think this Chiefs team has every reason to think that they're going to be improved in 2025 and can get back to being a Super Bowl contender once again. Some of the other picks for Kansas City. Jeffrey Simmons, that first-round pick at 32. Omar Norman-Lott, defensive tackle from Tennessee. I like the Noel Williams pick a lot, getting some help at corner, providing some depth there. Royals and Bassa, the most recent selections for Kansas City as well with their latest picks. So there you have it. That is a look at the most recent selections for the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do you want the Chiefs to draft next? Give me a name that comes to mind that you would like to see in Kansas City. Weigh in and let us know. More draft coverage all weekend long right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.